Hello students, welcome to this new session of Python. In the last session, we had studied functions, mainly with parameters, without parameters, with default keyword parameters, with single and multiple return values. In this session again we are going to study functions with variable number of parameters. And in today's session we are also going to study one more thing, that is break and continue as far as looping is concerned. But first let us try to understand what is the meaning of variable number of arguments in functions. Say we created a function last time with fixed two parameters x and y. That means when you make a call to the function add numbers, you have to pass strictly two parameters, say add numbers and 1 comma 2, say for example, then it will return the result 3. But I want such a situation where if I pass two parameters, then also the function should return the result. If I pass 3, then also the function should return the result. So that is what is the meaning of variable number of arguments or variable number of parameters. Now how to do this? How to manage this? In order to understand this, we need to go back to the concept of dictionary. Let us just try to execute a short piece of code once again, and then we try to come back to this particular program. So let us try to check which files are already there. Branching, functions, looping. Okay, fine. So we create a new file. We save it as function, save as, and functions variable number of parameters. Okay, let it be a long file name, there is no problem in that. Now we are not actually starting with the function, but we are starting with something that we have already studied. Let us try to once again create a dictionary. Stu equals id colon 1 comma name colon Sachin comma city colon Mumbai. Now how do we iterate through this student making use of a for loop? We need to revise this concept so that we can understand the function clearly. In one of the sessions in looping, we have seen for I comma j in stu dot items, because items returns two things, that is why we write items. Print I comma, we keep a space comma j. So let us try to just execute this. Yes, we have the id and we have the key and the value. We have the key and the value. Now in dictionaries it's a concept of key value pairs. One key value pair, the second key value pair, and so on. Now this concept is going to be used over here. Say when we pass two parameters, there will be two key value pairs, one and the second one. Variable name becomes the key, value becomes the value. If there are three parameters, then then there are three key value pairs. So basically we are going to create some function in that way. For the moment, just let me put it down, so if it is required we can use it. Now let us start with the actual function. Program to demonstrate function with variable number of arguments. So here let us try to write function definition first. Def, and we take add nums, and what we have, the way in which we give the parameters or specify the parameter or argument is different. Double asterisk and num, because the number of parameters are not known, that is why we specify double asterisk or double star. Now how we are going to access this num? This num, actually you have to think of it as a dictionary. You think of this num as a dictionary, in the sense, say for example I am just writing a sample num over here. If the user enters two values, then a colon 1 comma b colon 3, say for example. So num, you have to think of it as a dictionary, then the understanding of the function becomes easier. So this is one key value pair, and this becomes the second key value pair. And what we have to do? Yes, we have to use the items method or the values method. Either of them we can use. For I comma j in num dot items. Now what we are wanting to do, or what we are willing to do, we want the sum of all j's, because the values are in j. So we need to do one more thing. Say for example we initialize sum equals 0, and we do sum equals sum plus j. This is the only thing that we need to do as far as the function is concerned, and then we write return return sum. So that's the function. The function is quite simple, nothing much as far as the function is concerned, in the sense the function definition is concerned. But yes, definitely we need to make a call to this function. Now because the function is returning one value, we need to have one variable that is going to store the result. So, or we can directly write it in the print statement, but we write ans equals, and because we want to make a call to the function add nums, and here we have multiple values. Say for example a equals 9 comma b equals 8. This is one call, and we print sum of two numbers is and we try to print ANS. The same way, say for example, I do something else. Say for example, Control C, and this time I am taking one more variable C equals 76, and now let us try to execute. In the sense, the first time that I make a call, I am passing two values. The second time I make a call, I am passing three values. So this is what is referred to as variable number of arguments. That is, every time you make a call to the function, you don't have the same number of arguments. So let us try to check how it works and what's the result. Oh, some error. Definitely it's just because we have not put all the things in a comment over here. We put the not required code in a comment over here, and then hopefully the results there should be no problem. Yes, say it's working perfectly. The sum of first two numbers is 17, the sum of three numbers is 93. So this is how we can use variable number of arguments as far as a function is concerned. The only thing that you need to remember is, as far as the syntax is concerned, you need to put a double asterisk and treat this variable as a dictionary. Yes, you can use the items or you can use the values. If you are using values, you need to have only one variable in the for loop. This is again a handy feature available in Python, and if you make use of it properly, you can solve many of the tasks easily. So that is one of the things that we wanted to do today. The second thing that we are going to study in this session is break and continue in looping. So again, let us close this file and we create a new file and we save it as break continue. Okay, fine. So I write over here program to demonstrate in fact in one code we'll write both. Now break and continue are generally used in loops. One is used to come out from the loop and the other is used to skip one of the steps in the loop. So say for example, we just create a simple loop I in range 5, say for example. Now what I am doing, if I equals 3, sorry, colon should be there, then break. And what I want to print, I just want to print the value of I comma end is equal to /t. That is just, I want all the things on a simple line. Just let us try to execute and check the output. 0 1 2. It does not print 3 and 4. When we are using range 5, that means it is up to 5. It starts from 0 and prints the number till 5. What will happen when the break is encountered? When the condition I equals 3 is satisfied and break is encountered, that means the control will come out of the for loop, no more numbers will be printed from the loop. Now same way, just let us try to understand continue. I am just going to make one change over here, control C and control V. We write print, example of break, and we write over here print example of continue. If we try to observe both the results simultaneously, we will be able to understand in the best possible way. Just one small change I will make here, continue instead of break. So what happens if there is a continue and what happens if there is a break? I execute it once again. Oh, just one small correction as far as formatting is concerned. Now I think it should work. Example of break, as soon as 3 is encountered, the control comes out of the loop. In continue, when 3 is encountered, that particular step is skipped, but then it continues with the loop, with the next steps of the loop. So these are two small keywords which can be used when, if at all, either you want to come out of the loop or you want to just skip one of the steps from the loop. So with this we end this short session. What we have studied? We have studied two things in this session. We have studied the first thing, that is function with variable number of arguments and break and continue in looping. Now in function with variable number of arguments, you have to be careful when you are defining the function. You have to use double asterisk. Okay, just have a look at that and then we stop, open, and we check this. Here it is. When you have a variable that takes when different number of arguments, then you have to just put a double asterisk, and you can observe there can be two variables when you make a call, or there can be three variables when you make a call to the function. The only thing, you have to treat this variable as a dictionary and not as a simple variable. So this is all about break, continue, and variable number of arguments. We end this session. Just make sure that you continue with your practical work. Thank you.